Ladies and gentlemen, it is very hard to explain what gaming actually is. I mean, there's no one definition to explain it all. You have console gaming, you have PC gaming, and you have handheld gaming. Well, today we're going to be talking about the latter. I think it would be fun to rank handheld consoles from best to worst, so that's exactly what we're going to do. My name is Robot Joe and I'm your host as always. Let's go ahead and get started. So this video is not for no reason. I think my favorite form of gaming is handheld gaming. I have a Switch here, Gameboy Color, PSP, Switch Lite, DS, we have a DSi, but the console that actually inspired this whole tier list, a Nintendo 2DS. I never had one, never played one. I thought it was the ugliest, stupidest Nintendo console there is. Got one today, and it kind of makes sense, and I thought it would be fun to go ahead and get my thoughts out there to see who the hell I even am as a gamer. So this is tiermaker.com. You can type in anything and they will pull up a tier list for it. And so I have handheld consoles here. As you can see, there is duplications of every single console. So what we're gonna have to do is kind of keep track of what the hell we're doing. A couple tiers for you: S, A, B, C, and doo-doo. Yeah, one of those, not so great. Let's just get right into it. The OG Game Boy, not that great, man. It was cool at the time, but that gray-green screen is ugly and the batteries just don't last. B tier. Game Boy Color. I'm going to put an A strictly off nostalgia. I was trying to play one the other day. Not having a backlit screen really hinders it. Yes, Pokemon games were amazing on it. It was my entire childhood. I even had the little connector with a light so you could see, but I'm putting in an A strictly off nostalgia. Honestly, I think it might even be lower than that. Game Boy Advance, the beginning of A tier. The Game Boy Advance has to go the front of A tier because it's like a Game Boy Color, but you can play Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color games. And I like the shape better. The Game Boy Advance SP, first S tier console we have. It's backlit. I love the way it folds, and yeah, that's awesome. I want the next Nintendo console to fold. That would be cool. We'll see what happens, right? To the OG DS, B tier. The screen, not the greatest. It feels really flimsy, large and clunky. Cool concept, it almost feels like more of a prototype. Definitely going B tier. Let's get some S tier stuff out of the way. The Switch, yeah, I don't need to explain why the Switch is S tier. It's freaking awesome. The only thing that hinders the Switch, period, not having like built-in voice chat and the games being pretty expensive. Other than that, I freaking love it. Play mine every single day. Switch Lite, B tier. For the reason of it just isn't a Switch. It does not switch into anything. It's just like a DS or a Game Boy or something, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing for it to switch into. If you get Joy-Con drift, you have to send it in to get replaced. There's no buying replacement Joy-Cons. The speakers are not the greatest. It is cool, but you know, it'll go the front of B tier. The Sega Game Gear, doo-doo tier. I will say the sound and visuals of that were pretty awesome. Funny enough, my grandma had one of these and I used to play Sonic on it all the time. The batteries, you would have to put like what, 4, 6, or 8 batteries, I cannot remember, it was something absurd. And they would die in like 2 freaking hours. Now that I have a 2DS, it is going in A tier. I think I would have put it lower, but now that I have one, it just makes sense. I have huge hands. It just fits my hands so perfectly. Like, I don't know, and I'm not a fan of the whole 3D from the 3DS. I like the 3DS console, but I just don't like 3D like gimmick of it. Yeah, the 2DS is pretty freaking fire, man. And I'm happy that I finally have one. PS Vita, I never had one, but I love the whole concept of it, everything. It's a better PSP, you know what I mean? And that has to go A tier. Steam Deck, S tier. I do not have one. You know what's funny is I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I'm a Switch person. Like I enjoy what I enjoy. I never thought I would even care about a Steam Deck, but now that I see everybody have one, and every time I have a conversation with people about them, they kind of sell it to me, and I think it makes sense. And maybe sometime in the future, when it's more in my budget, I think I could see myself getting one. 3DS XL. It is the best version of the 3DS. It's going to, even though I'm not a fan of the 3D like gimmick, I like what it does and what it is, so it's going beginning of A tier. Let's see, we got duplications here. PSP, I play mine every single freaking day. The graphics aren't the best. I think it's like what? It's supposed to be like the equivalent of a PS2 that you're playing. So that doesn't, it's not the PSP's fault. It was good for what it is. I'm not sure if the PS Vita has like the same movies and stuff you can watch. I watch stuff on my PSP all the time. I'm currently playing like Family Guy, the video game on it, but I just ordered some South Park episodes for it. I have Wild Boys, like that old Jackass inspired show for it, and I watch all that stuff and it is cool. So it's actually gonna go second of B tier. Let's see, we gotta make sure we don't have duplications here. Whatever the hell this Nokia thing is, I kind of like remotely have a memory of it, but not really. It's got to go doo-doo here. Evercade, I think this is what this is called. This is strictly like a ROM console, and from what I've heard, people really enjoy this. And if you can play everything on it, not just Nintendo games, then it has to go above a PSP and above a Switch Lite, right? As long as it works the way it's supposed to work and you can play more stuff on it, then why not have it in B tier? Okay, this is a Sony Pocket Station. This is a gimmicky console that Sony released. It is tiny, doesn't hold up at all. It's actually not that expensive. I think these things sell like complete in box for like 80 bucks or something, 100 bucks. So this is my tier list right here, but I do feel like we're missing a lot of stuff. Oh, the Switch OLED. Okay. This is the best version of the Switch. You know what? We're going to switch this up. It goes Switch OLED, Steam Deck, then the Switch. The Switch OLED, this is what I play every single night. Play Luigi's Mansion on a Switch OLED, and you feel like you're playing the Switch Pro or something. Playing Tears of the Kingdom on it, the colors, everything. It's awesome. At first, I was like, is it really worth upgrading from a Switch to a Switch OLED? And once I did, holy shit, it was definitely worth it. Putting up a Switch and a Switch OLED side by side, it is a huge freaking difference. I definitely feel like we're missing some handheld consoles, but this is what we have. Now, is this how I feel like everything should be? 2DS is definitely above the Game Boy Advance. Vita is above this. Yeah, I think this is where I would have to leave it. Guys, what do you think? Do you agree with this list? Do I agree with this list? Who the hell knows at this point? In the comments below, let me know. Do you agree with it? What you would change? Your opinions? Do you even play handheld gaming? Are you a console gamer or a PC gamer? Start a conversation. And remember, if you could, hit a like and subscribe on the way out. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and that is a very lovely thing. You guys know me. My name is Robot Joe, and I will see you soon with a new video. Peace out.